Hello, people of the internet. Welcome to the Shadow Report, your news and views program about geek gaming culture on said internet. Coming up in the show today, a YouTuber that is known to make videos where she compares German American culture has been attacked, has seemingly been copyright trolled by somebody who is only given her a very small window to change just about everything on her channel, although the person that is trying to do the cease and desist may have some skeletons in her own closet and some things that she might not be very honest about, one being the real reason she might be doing all of this to begin with. My name is JD Shadow. All of this and the OCRemix track of the day is coming your way right about now. I recently found this out about a day or so ago, maybe today if I get this out today. However, I do want to touch upon this story because I feel as though there is both some very suspicious stuff going on and perhaps somebody is not being quite honest about who they are, what they came from, or how this is all going down. You might have heard about a person if you are into watching YouTube videos about people from other countries and how the cultures mesh with America. You may have heard of somebody called German Girl from America. I have just heard about this person, or at least the person who had the name for about a couple years before this is all starting to go down. She is now called Feli from Germany. I do want to promote her channel because she seems like she's a very nice person and knows what she's talking about and is willing to converse and to have conversations with other people. Unfortunately, it is not the case with somebody else who shared the name and had a website that was literally named German Girl in America, and you're seeing her website on the screen right now. Before we go any further, I do not want anybody to harass anybody who is involved in this story. Yes, we can call out people. Yes, we can push back against people, but do not harass anybody. Do not send death threats or anything like that. We do not want that. We do not condone that. If anybody does that in the wake of this video, I do want to mention that we do not condone that and we distance ourselves from anybody who would dare to do anything like that. Pushback is okay. Calling people out is okay. Sending vitriol and threats are another thing altogether. I will also link you to the video that you are now seeing on your screen. You will probably see on the screen for the majority of this video because I don't know what else I can put there on the background of this video. The person that is getting attacked apparently had this name for about a couple years now, and according to her story, and I'm gonna try to do the best I can in order to give you the TLDR of this, but she can put it into detail far greater than I ever could, is that she had this name for quite a while and she was contacted by these people who owned the site. First of all, from the German Girl America, the one who is attacking her now. She has said, hey, no ill will by it, I'll go ahead and promote your videos and your channel and your website or what have you, and everything seemed to be okay. Then February, I think it's February of this year, I might be getting the exact dates wrong, she got contacted again, and then it started to go a little down south. Around a few weeks ago, she got contacted with a cease and desist order and didn't seem to be quite friendly. She had only a few weeks in order to change every last detail about the channel, to completely scrub the name German Girl in America from her content. Completely. Full stop. End of story. Period. Dot. End of story. The merchandise, she had to liquidate this. She's doing so now and completely change what her video and content was about. This is after they seemed to be on good terms a few years ago, and then she talked about maybe merchandise, about her channel falling on deaf ears, and they didn't get any bit of response back. So seemingly they thought they were in the clear until right now. Now, it does seem to be into context in that she did sign a contract stating that she had to change her name, stuff like that. However, it could have been the rest. It could have been such where they had a lot of fast talking in a way that made her be manipulated into signing away her rights. And even though I don't really know, I'm not that much of a legal expert, but I don't really know if there is any way you can say, hey, maybe I was coerced into signing a contract I shouldn't have signed it. Is this a contract that is invalid? Maybe some lawyers can look into that. However, I want to make this video because I want to make people aware of what's going on here, because I don't know if there is any real record of her going through the United States copyright trademark laws and to copyright this. I'm not quite sure where we can find it. Maybe we can get somebody to check up on that, and maybe we can update this video or update this story about whether or not this was the case. And if that is not the case, maybe there is a further investigation to be had, because it does seem as though, and this is the reason why I'm saying don't go harass anybody, that this is now calling to question maybe something's going on, because on her Twitter account, it does seem as though she's talking about different types of dishes that you could find in Germany. However, if you go onto a simple Google search about some of these dishes, you'll find that they're not actually German dishes. One of them that is called, I'm going to butcher this name, Kaiser Schreimnarn, I think it's pronounced. I am probably butchering that name beyond belief. Is an Austrian dessert. It is not German by any stretch of the imagination. Another one that has to do with Swiss cheese, Raclette, I think is, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong as well, is a Swedish dish. Swedish? I think Swedish, or whatever. I'm probably going to get railed for that. Anyway, it is a Swiss dish. It is not from Germany. And I'm not really going to go through anything else, because I think with just these two, I think there might be some cause for concern here about what is going on. And what else could be going on? Search rankings. Let's take a look at what Feli from Germany is doing, as Social Blade is putting it. Within the past couple of weeks, or maybe this past month, her viewership is going extremely well. Over 1 million video views of the last 30 days. Now, we compare that to what this website is doing. When you take a look at what the website, the German Girl from America website, is doing for the past 90 days, it was down 41% of the daily time on site. Only 1 minute and 13 seconds people spend on average on this site. Now, within the past couple of weeks, she said this is when it all started to go down. So what is actually going on here? This may be what's going on here. There was a huge downtick in the amount of people that are going to the site, and there have been some call outs on GGIA as to what exactly is going on, because it does seem as though it's a little suspect as to what might be happening in terms of her validity, as if she knows much about what she's talking about, as opposed to Feli, who has been getting very popular as of late. And this is why, first of all, you don't sign anything before you are absolutely certain that you get your lawyers, you get more than one, you go on to outside people to figure out whether or not you should proceed with a fight, whether or not you sign the dotted line, because once you sign the dotted line, it's really hard to walk it back if you can at all. We've seen that many times people will take advantage of this copyright system in order to silence competitors, to take down competitors. We've seen that a lot of times. And we've also seen, of course, how YouTube operates their fair use doctrine. They rarely do. And their copyright system, their DMCA system, is severely flawed, and people take firm advantage of that. But that's not the case here. You have to really be careful when you're talking about these sort of issues, because it seems as though, and this is just looking for the past 90 days, we're not quite sure what went on before that. And keep in mind that according to Feli and various news sources, that this German Girl in America website started in 2014, and Feli started her channel, well, after that, I think she said 2017 or 2018 is when she started her channel. So there was a bit of a time gap, and of course the Karen Ann person came first with that name. But we do not know whether or not there was a trademark filed on this name. Now, you don't really need to file a copyright for something. All you have to do is come up with a name first, And there's some sketchy laws that go into that, but if you create it first, you hold the copyright in understanding, but it doesn't go into the trademark if you don't file it. So I would like to see if she actually trademarked this name or not. If she did, then games that match, but we don't know the details of this. And from the looks of things, this seems as though more like, hey, she saw that her views were going down and she thought that perhaps this Feli person was the one that was responsible. Because keep in mind, in that they used to have a cordial relationship in a way. Feli and Karen talked it out and said, hey, I never meant to infringe on your name. I'll put a shout out. And it seems as though she didn't mind Feli using that name. But now all of a sudden, there seems to be a problem. Now keep in mind that there was another person involved here. And his name is Kevin, Karen and Kevin. Keep in mind, too, that I'm really hating people troping that name Karen anymore. I don't know what's going on there, but someone needs to reclaim ownership of the name Karen. It's just a freaking name. Can we please stop using the name Karen for these types of situations? I feel like half the time those so-called Karen videos are staged with everybody knowing what's going on before they even hit play. I refuse to believe that the majority of people act like that. I refuse to believe that. Something in that has to be staged. Something in those videos have to not be kosher. We need to investigate that. Like, we need to investigate this. Now, was Feli pushed into signing the contract? Was her lawyers not competent at what was going on here? Is the cease and desist valid? I mean, when you talk about things like cease and desist, do you really get only a week in order to change everything about your channel and about your website? Usually they're given a little bit more time than that, from the point in which the contract was signed and people were made aware about the ramifications of everything. I mean, who has that much time in order to change their entire company outlook and to get people aware of the change and get people aware of what's happening? I mean, the more that I'm looking at this story and the more I'm finding out about this, the more I'm thinking that perhaps she should walk back some of this. Maybe there should be some pushback here. Maybe she needs some help in this because something doesn't seem right. Who gives somebody 2 weeks in order to change their entire thing from the moment the cease and desist letter is sent? Who does that? Who will actually give people that little of a time? Usually be what, 30 days if I remember? Maybe 30 days in order to get everything set and taken care of? And here's another thing that maybe we need to figure out. When, assuming that she ever filed the copyright, when did she do that? Did she do it just recently? Did she do it so she can claim ownership, so she could go after Feli from Germany? When was the copyright filed? Because I have a feeling that might be relevant to this case. Because if she filed it just so she can tell this person, this Feli from Germany, to cease and desist, then that could be suspicious as well. However, keep in mind is I'm not a legal expert. There are people on YouTube that can do a lot of legal commentary. I believe Hoglaw is somebody who could look into this. I'm not sure if he would be able to look into something in which somebody might just have a website versus somebody who actually has a YouTube channel and maintains it. Although the subject matter might have zero to do with tech, the fact of the matter is that this isn't in the tech world. Maybe there's something to this. Either way, I would love for somebody to investigate these situations, to investigate whether this person did have a copyright before Feli came about, and if she didn't, when did she file it? Did she file it just so she can then file the cease and desist letter? And did she bully Feli into signing the letter? Remember, there were 2 people, and stuff like this could take a long time in order to rectify, so maybe that factor in. Either way, I do believe that this is suspicious. This is very much suspicious, and I do believe there's more to the story than what everybody is going to look at and say, hey, how dare you, or why did you have to change it? There's something more here. Like, there's something very nefarious going on, because half of what this woman, this Karen Ann person, is doing is simply not up to par, and strikes to me as somebody who is trying to abuse the copyright system in order to stifle somebody who might just be taken away from her viewership, take away from something that is not going well for her because maybe somebody's exposing her. I do not know. Hopefully we'll get an update, and hopefully this gets resolved, because quite frankly, I don't think Feli should have changed her name at all. I think she should have fought this, and maybe she can still, because now people are starting to call her out, and maybe there is some way that Feli can fight this. We're going to keep you informed of this, but until then, that is going to do it for the Shadow Report. Thanks as always for watching. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to this channel for more geek gaming culture. Also, I do inform all of you to please go and give Feli your support. I will link to her channel in the description below this video as well, so you can get the full story about what's going on from her eyes. Karen Ann has not posted publicly about this situation. Of course she's not going to. I would give you 3 guesses as to why. 2 of them do not count. And oh, if Karen Ann's watching this, I dare her to try to take this video down. If you really think you can silence me, just try me. Before I go, I'm gonna give you the OCRemix track of the day. And since I don't really have anything German to give to you for the OCRemix track, I don't know of any German sounding music or any German sounding remixes off of the site. Let's go to a newer track that was just posted a week or so ago, or maybe a day or so ago. Nigel Simmons, I think we've featured him once before. I can't remember which one we did, but he posted a new one. I hope I'm getting the gender correctly there. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past. This is the Hyrule Castle track being remixed in a very epic, very orchestrated track here from Link to the Past. Probably one of my favorite Zelda games. I played this game to death, believe you me. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. I hope you guys go give OCRemix your support as well, because they deserve it. There's a lot of people who deserve your viewership. I hope I'm one of them, according to you. I hope that you ring the bell, subscribe, and do all that other fancy stuff, because you know how YouTube likes to be sometimes. Until next time, my name is JD Shadow. That just happened.